Hello, and welcome to the Fractional CEO podcast. Hi, Brad.
Hey, Philip, how are you?
I'm great. And I was extremely happy and looking forward to this session, especially today. We've decided to talk about sales monster. So, just to
Yes.
give a little bit of glimpse in the outline to the audience, in sales activities, especially, we are talking about the expertise-based business, often being connected also to the fractional executive roles and activities. You see a significant misconceptions. They're being taught by various sales professionals, things that are not necessarily apply in the expertise-based world. So practices that work in commodity-based realm are being kind of transferred in the expertise-based realm, and applies and rules cannot apply fully. So, simply wanted to hear from your end a little bit about the experience and generally your thoughts about the sales, the process, and the misconceptions you've been encountering with in your career.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. It's. I came from a retail background, so you're speaking truth when you talk about the commodity side of things and how to move product and how to get those numbers. And it was a tough lesson. I'm not saying I've got it all figured out, but I've had success being around for 20 years. So the what I noticed the big difference in the well, let's call it the consulting realm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that you're selling your expertise, and unfortunately, people are too focused on sales. Okay, that what I found, especially as a coach, but what I found is I just got very interested in how I could help, if at all. So there's one thing that people never get bored of talking about, and that's themselves. And that's
Yeah.
okay. That's not a bad thing. Where we, as I'll call ourselves hosts, where we make mistakes is they say something that we can relate to, and suddenly we take over the conversation. We make it about us. You take a look at websites. It's yes, you have to convey what you do. I grant you that, and then how good you are. I grant you that. But if you're not talking about the customer, the potential customer, like putting something in there that they can relate to, gone.
Yeah.
At least that's what I found. What are your thoughts?
I absolutely agree with everything what you said, and generally what I saw during all these years is the fact that some rules, as mentioned previously, that do apply in the commodity world are being kind of tried to transfer in the expertise, and people are trying to do the hard sales in expertise-based realm, which is, and that is by default wrong, because we are, as the expert, there to help, support, and guide, not to push the sales or the target we have or we've decided upon in the process. And some misconceptions, a misconception I see very often, as mentioned previously, the things that are being taught to the audience. Okay, you are the expert. You need to be very active about the sales and everything, pushing things, blah, blah, blah. Point is that in the expertise-based realm, and the more impact it is on the business, it's better chance that that engagement will be made and done based on strong referral. So if somebody is doing the cold outreach, trying to sell his services to you, what are actually the chances that you'll be confirming engaging with that individual or company? Very low,
It,
objectively.
it's pretty thin. Yeah.
Pretty thin, pretty thin. Okay, you can try to ask for demo, for case studies, for social proof, for the authority. That's fine. But the more stuff is on the stake, the bigger impact, as said, less or lesser chance that is something what will be made and done through cold engagement and cold outreach. I know directly from my experience, if I'm looking for some specific expertise, I am directly and immediately, and that is my first choice, tapping into my circle of trust. Because if I need actual help and support from outer external resource, the expert, I need to find and want to find the best. And we are not talking here about the top cap on the price and similar. If we have a significant, or my clients and partners are having a significant challenge, nobody is able to resolve, I want to find the best individual or a company that can resolve that specific pain. So yeah, that is something what I've encountered with, and it's a negative impact on the experts that are trying to utilize the patterns that are being taught to try to apply, and things are not working. The paradigm is different. The approach is different. So it's logical. The cold outreach and cold sales won't be hitting the target. In the end, very significant thing I wanted to emphasize, especially in the sales process overall, one thing what was always very important to me is never to close specific sale or engage with the partner or client when they are being enthusiastic, because I need for them to be as objective they can be in the moment of making a relevant business decision, because I don't want to catch them or grab them. I want for them to take the time, analyze everything, and come to me with additional information, if questions, if they have any, so they can be fully secure and sure they are actually making the right decision, and that engagement is coming exactly at the right time.
You know, it's first of all, I like that point of view and pointing out those important characteristics. This was only about, I think I mentioned this to you last month. I had a query from somebody from Toronto, Ontario.
Remember.
And I'm in Western Canada, for those that may not know. So that was nice. But anyways, the point being is this person was looking for, like he's literally, his job is to prospect for the company that he works for, and he wasn't getting the turns that he was looking for and was looking for some advice. So anyway, now here's a good example of a person that has an issue. I'm understanding the issue. I'm asking more probing questions, and this is what all people in our line of work should do. Is to your point, is clarify. Because what I was having problems with, Philip, is I was trying, if I can't picture it in my mind, I know I don't have enough information. So he was like, well, how, prospecting and what he was doing. And so I asked some more questions. And long story short, I was realizing I don't feel comfortable taking this guy on because the outcome is not clear to me. Because when I kept saying to him, what would success look like? That is one of the best questions anybody in our line of work can ask a client. Yeah. What does success look like? To make sure, to your point, that we're on the same page. Because, I can give direction, I can give mentoring, I can give coaching, and all these other kind of things that have worked for me. And then suddenly you find out that he's unsatisfied, and he's unsatisfied because you haven't hit the nail on the head. Why? Because it's not clear to either of you.
Yeah.
So it's what, I bring that up because, one promise I made when I first started out is I'll never chase a check.
Yeah.
And that's because reputation in this business is very important. You have to, you should only take on, this was what my coach taught me, is you only take on situations that you're confident and sure that you can get them to the end road, with the proviso, to your point, that they understand the requirements from their end. They have to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
So, to connect the analogy, you don't hire a personal trainer at the gym to work out for you. While you're eating a Twinkie and they're doing the exercises, and then suddenly this benefits you. So, what you were talking about, Philip, is, listen, there's many people out there that can solve the problem. people have, that the company has. That is not the issue. The issue is that whether or not you can build some synergy and feel comfortable and able to learn, or sorry, I beg your pardon, to work with this person so they can get to the desired result. So at the end of the day, what's business all about? It's people buying people.
Exactly.
That's that. I don't care if you're buying a car, you're buying clothes, or you're buying a service. People buy people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you connect? Do you jive? Are you speaking the same language, figuratively and sometimes literally, to get the project home? So I find, as you do, great satisfaction as when you hit it, and you know it's kind of like teaching a kid to ride a bike, and once they get it, you just sit back and go, that is awesome, watching it go and what have you. Because, sorry to ramble on, but I just want to make the point of saying, when we're trying too hard, it's like pushing a rope up a hill.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No matter what you do, even though you're engaged, even though you're motivated, even though you're dedicated, pushing a rope up a hill is an impossible task. And that analogy means, like, get out of your own way. What you're doing is not making any sense at this moment. What is your goal? And then you find out, and then you're like, why don't you pick this up,
Exactly.
walk up to the top of the hill and drag the rope down? And they're like, holy crap, that's revolutionary. When you're so focused on the problem, you can't see anything else. And hence why people hire experts in the field, so they can look at things objectively. They're emotionally tied to it. You and I are not. We're not emotionally tied to it. We look at it very pragmatic and step by step.
Yeah, yeah. And this reminded me of two specific situations I wanted to emphasize. One thing is, for example, and that is something that we also discussed about in numerous of our pre-shows and casual conversations, when we already are engaging in terms of, okay, we are having a potential client, meaning prospect on the other side of the table or room, whatever, that we need to make sure and be sure we are generally a good fit. That, as you said, we are actually able to help them. We have very clear and painted picture of the expectations from both sides, and that we understand are that specific company and individual truly have a potential. Because we mentioned it previously, when I see a top cap on the individual or a company, I won't be engaging just because we'll be sending some invoices and they'll be paying some services, because it's meaningless, it's pointless,
Yes.
it's unfair, and I find it unethical for me to see the limitations. I'm fine with that. No, I'm not. I'll try to help them, support them, and guide them. If they will be able to listen, understand, and maybe make relevant or necessary changes, bravo, we are moving forward. Alternatively, sorry, I'm not the guy for you. And that is fair. Everything else would be wrong, at least from my perspective. And the second thing is something what I saw very often, and you did the same, especially in the companies which have a multi-layer management and similar. When you gather management and ask them serious questions, especially about the long-term plan, alignment, and the goals of the company, and when you see and understand they aren't aligned, no matter how many of them are sitting in the room, and that is mind-blowing, but on the on the bad side.
Yeah, I worked for a multinational company for a while. I was coaching their chief executive, and when I mentioned to them, I said, maybe as part of this exercise, we can get the executive team together and we could revise your strategy plan. Silence. So why is that significant? It's staggering sometimes when I hear of larger companies that are doing business, across the ocean, and are just shooting from the hip, it seemed. I couldn't believe it. So why am I mentioning that is it's because if if somebody listening to this is kind of going, well, I'd be embarrassed if I did. Don't. It happens. We get busy doing our day-to-day thing. We get busy doing damage control, sales, as we're just talking about, and so on. And we get far and farther away from the pier before we realize we don't have our compass.
Yeah.
So that is not an enviable place to be. However, that is definitely where you want somebody to come in and say, okay, I need to ask some very probing questions here, and let's find out where success lies. What was it you were trying to do, or where was the goal, and how has that changed? And then what do we need to do now moving forward? It can be repaired. But it's commonplace at times. I know that sounds a bit like a contradictory, but it is common for people to put their business plan, once they get the bank loan, it goes in a drawer and it's never seen again. It's never seen again.
Yeah.
And as a coach, why I am interested in those kind of things, and why at the end of the year, at the power of three, you recall, like I sent you the power of three. It's the three questions has three answers. It's the power of three, because it's a year-end review, for heaven's sake. And that is critical in my view. Like, where have you been? What happened? What did you like? What didn't you like? What did you learn? And what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Right? And then how are you going to go forward? So I've had owners that have never read a profit and loss statement in their life.
Yeah.
Don't even, and I get it. It's because you're the technician. You're the electrician, you're the plumber, you're the draftsman, you're the whatever. And you had an opportunity to build a business, and when things get tough, you go, I think I'll just go do the technician thing and ignore that for now.
I'll leave that to somebody else, but who else? Exactly. Often?
Yeah, it's delegate and abdicate. Yeah. And I watch for those kind of things and just say, listen, I know about marketing, I know about sales, I know about finances, I know about these things. At no time will I say I'm an expert in all 7 departments of a business.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But what I have is what they should have, and that is an understanding. I can read a P&L statement probably just as fast as your accountant. So I'm okay there. Would I do your taxes? That would be a mistake. So again, like right back to our subject about sales, is having a grasp on exactly, what is it what problem are you solving? And that's very basic. That's very ABC. What problem are you solving? The trouble we're running into that you were just talking about, Filip, is how do you bridge that to convey to a potential prospect about how you can solve their problem without getting features, benefits, and that.
Yeah. In the end, that's something that needs to be perceived and always should be like that, from the perspective and eyes of the owner of a company, a manager who is looking for a specific solution. He's not buying, as I said, perks, features, service list. No, tangible results, measurable, quantifiable. That's pretty much straightforward. It's not a misconception, but it's often seen a mistake in various industries. Companies are overly relying on, surely, project-to-project basis, and they don't actually have an action step or action steps, a strategy, nor a plan what they'll be doing. So they're surviving from one project to another, and that is a continuous cycle. And they hit the end of the road, and then they're asking for golden nuggets and immediate wins. I know from my perspective, and my approach was always never accept, meaning always reject those who are not struggling, but who allow themselves to get to specific case and scenario. Because whatever you do, they need immediate results, but nothing is immediate. All of the results we experience today are a product of our past work. So everything else is BS that shouldn't be accepted by nobody, nor internal team if they have adequate setup, infrastructure, and everything, but they weren't delivering what needs to be done or needed to be done up until the management. So that is something what I see very often, especially in the tech companies, because a bunch of tech companies were growing from zero to hero. They had an organic growth without pre-established nor established fundamentals in terms of business management, processes, procedures. So we are here from today. And what now? And they perceive, okay, today we are stable. We have a significant inbound of projects, opportunities. We're closing deals, blah, blah, blah. And that is something here to stay. No, it won't be staying if you didn't set up a foundation nor the infrastructure to support it.
Okay, absolutely. And I'm going to, for anybody listening, I'll just say this. When Filip says infrastructure, and it's about how things are placed pragmatically in your company. So what I've run into is we're busy. And I want to come across a table when people say I'm busy. I'm just like, give me a break. Okay, you have to make time for certain facets of your business at the certain junctures for you to remain successful. Yep. Now, there are companies out there, there's millions of companies out there that are successful in spite of themselves, to what you were just talking about. Yeah. But it will bite you in the ass eventually. And to your point about, they want immediate results is because they're panicking.
Yeah.
So, when I've had, I can grab a file right now. Like I got people that I've coached in the past that I just said, what did you do to get this sale? They tell me. And then I said, when you got into the sale, what happened to that habit? Well, we got busy. I hate that word. Mm-hmm. You got disorganized.
Yep.
You did not prioritize. You did not hold yourself accountable. And you had some habits there that went down the rabbit hole. So shame on you, but let's correct those actions. So if you're listening now, I would just say this: take your busy and get rid of it. Throw it out the window. Enough. You get disciplined. You're going to be a chief executive. You got every facet of your business, all 7 departments that need to be monitored somehow, and in certain timelines, weekly, daily, hourly, you name it, like whatever. But ignoring the problem and just kind of like, well, we've gotten by in the past, don't worry about it. Good luck to you. Mm-hmm. Good luck to you. Because then you're going to be coming looking for some silver bullet that doesn't exist. So if you're there now, if this is resonating with anybody listening now, bloody well, stop for a moment and say, I better get pen to paper and start thinking about this a little bit. And then how my prospecting works. Like, are you on a 90-day cycle, 120-day cycle? What does that look like? From when from when you're prospecting to when you close the sale to when you actuate the contract. What kind of timeline does that do? And then do some math behind it to kind of go like, my old man, like he was a sign writer, and he opened up his calendar sometimes. He'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't have any work for next week. So he'd start working the phones in between a job. Yep. He started working the phones. Why? Because he wants to eat. Yep. He's got kids to feed. That's honest to God, like my age was in the single digits when I witnessed that. But later as an adult, I was like, oh my God, that must have been stressful.
Yeah.
But that's the point, is I've seen it live and in person about a person who goes, okay, I better switch gears here and get back to prospecting sales.
Yeah, people definitely do have a tendency to get or become very comfortable in a specific moment. But point is, never stop. That is something what often athletes do understand very early. When it is the hardest, then a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yeah. How can you tell I'm passionate about this stuff, eh?
I always remember, that I was in karate for 20 years with my coach when we were sparring, and they were counting seconds. 15 more, 20 more, 15 more. It was never ending. After we finished the session, we all just fell. We were dismantled. But that was a great session. And every time.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, we kind of went around a little bit down the rabbit hole in this podcast today, but the the point about sales is the lifeblood of any business. Everybody knows that. So it's the clarity is key,
Yeah,
obviously, and come from a position of wanting to help. And if you
always.
do that and you're trying to be that person and make that connection, make sure they're doing more of the talking so you can understand where they're at and then provide the roadmap.
Yeah, and definitely refrain from giving a prescription before the exam.
Yeah.
That is often
Yeah.
seen, and it doesn't work simply. So, in the end, like I said, so
Yeah.
yeah,
The free consulting.
yeah. Before we go, I think that we covered pretty well today. Do you have maybe some closing thoughts or?
Well, just to reiterate,
Yeah,
just like I said, if this resonated with anybody listening, is take the time to look at your compass. Where are you at? And if you can't answer the question of what does success look like, and where we're at, then pause.
good point. Brad, it was a true pleasure as always.
You as well. Looks, I might have frozen on you here, but anyways, it was a good session. Thank you so much for the time today.
Likewise, and see you soon.
You bet.
Bye bye.